Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, we're king of the castle in Scotland. We're visiting a newly buffed and polished jewel in the country's sporting crown. We're giving away high-tech, top-spec ear defenders worth hundreds from CENS Digital. We're taking novices shooting at the Oxford Gun Company. Not the low-life looters we were hoping for, but aren't non-shooters much the same? First, cometh the hour, and cometh the man. Well, cometh the crop muncher, and cometh the crowman. And he goeth forth first on his combine, and next on his UTV, targeting any pest in his path. Although Crowman's farm has as many deer as the Serengeti has wildebeest, sporting shooter editor Dom Holtam has failed to bag one after half a dozen outings with Fieldsports Channel. We've seen plenty of fallow and the odd roe, but they've either been on the horizon, the wrong sex, too deep in the crop, on the wrong side of the high seat for our southpaw friend, or it's just been too dark. So tonight, it's crunch time. As usual, there are herds of the things on the neighbour's ground, and then up pops a roe doe that we almost tread on. At least Dom is good company up a high seat, which may be part of the problem. Stealth giving way to tittering and hot air.
I actually don't think I've ever shot a deer with David in attendance. I've even shot animals when he's gone to a different high seat on the same farm, but isn't in my direct presence. So we've come to agreement this is the last time. If he manages it tonight, he's not going anymore. He's making me look bad.
Even so, just as we think we're out of luck again, two likely lads appear along the edge of the uncut crop. They look very much like the two we saw on the 1st of August, when the crop and the does had spoilt the fun. This time we start to feel the gods are looking on us favourably. We expect them to cut in and walk towards us, but no, the darker one has a look along the run towards us and trots on. Dom decides enough is enough and drops him. Unfortunately, the foliage blocks our view, but then he repositions for the second, and he drops it on the spot. Dom makes sure he has cartridges in his magazine, but doesn't load up before climbing down from the high seat. The light has gone now, and thankfully both specimens are still where they stood.
We thought we were going to be out of luck because they grazed along the edge of the corn, and all I could see was a head, and I wasn't overly keen on taking 150 or 200 yard headshot, and we were a little bit running out of space because of some overhanging branches, and so once the first animal stopped, took him, his mate hung around. I thought, well, given that he was an ideal cull animal, and given how rarely I managed to shoot deer when I'm with David, I thought I'd take him too. He struck a little high. He dropped very quickly to the shot, which is normally an indication, but he's down. They're both in the grass where we'd left them. So yeah, job done. Just going to bleed him, and then we're going to go and get Andy to go and get his buggy rather than me overexert myself in the field. Us journalists have got to keep ourselves limber. So yeah, really pleased, and yeah, just in the nick of time. It's getting quite dark now. Right, let's get on.
Dom bleeds the two animals, which are in fabulous condition in their summer coats. Moments like this need to be cherished. Having broken the good news to Crowman that a couple of forage harvesters have been dealt with, he suggests a basic gralloch in the field, and he'll finish them off back at the yard. Dom has a useful bit of kit with him on test that makes life a little easier.
So this is called a swing blade. What a normal kind of drop point hunting blade. Push this button here, and then that allows the blade to swing round. And this is like effectively, instead of having a gut hook built into your knife, this is the proper instrument for the job. It's got a smooth off end, so you don't nick the intestines or anything when you're unzipping your deer. And then once you've done that bit of the job, you've got another knife. Never used one before now, but came on test, so we thought, well, let's give it a go.
One thing that was particularly striking about going shooting with Dom is that he hasn't got a moderator on the rifle. Without this bit of kit, the noise from his 3006 was offensive for anyone sharing a high seat with him. And the muzzle flash meant the cameraman had a better idea than Dom whether the animal had gone down or not.
This is a Sauer 202 in 3006. It's not always easy to get rifles in left-hand actions, and although I have shot right-handed rifles in the past, obviously it's much nicer to have one that's correct for you. You know, it's got proper cheek piece, bolts on the right side. You know, some of them the safety's on the right side, etc., etc. So Sauer is one of those companies that offers a full left-hand option across its range. It's a lovely rifle, you know. I really like it, but yeah, you said you thought it was a bit loud.
Very loud. Loudest rifle I've sat next to for a while.
Most people who you have filmed, you know, people like Roy, they always have a moderator. I have to say, when I started shooting, I started with a 243. I don't shoot huge volumes of ammunition, and the places where we were shooting, it didn't matter that I didn't have a moderator. I didn't have a trouble with the recoil, so I just never bothered. But I have to say, the 3006 has got significantly more recoil, also muzzle flip, and as we discovered there, quite a pronounced muzzle flash. You know, the second ear I lost completely once I'd taken the shot, because obviously it's pale colour. It dropped in the corn. I couldn't see it because my vision had been impaired by the muzzle flash. But yeah, this rifle I would consider fitting a moderator to make it more comfortable to shoot and to allow me to watch the fall of shot through the scope, which is, you know, that's ideal. You know, you can keep the scope to your eye and you can see the animal drop. You can see the result of your shot. Whereas with this, in this instance, I couldn't. It's a lovely piece of kit. I'm really pleased with it.
Crowman shows up to inspect the evening's
left
work.
the back ends in, but I thought
Some like the liver, others the stomach lining, tripe and onions doing the trick. But for the crows, it's the heart that is the prime cut. So what have these animals been eating?
Got a few acorns in there.
Crab apples, that is.
Crab apples.
There's apples down the bottom of the field there.
Yeah. Are you filming this, David?
Yeah.
How do you feel, Andy, as a farmer, when you see them stuffed full of your food?
Not too happy, really.
They're in fantastic condition, aren't they? They're really fat.
Well, they're high protein wheat. Yeah, look at the wheat in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just one. Yesterday there was over 50 out there. So, yeah.
Hopefully they'll only be 48 now.
Good boy.
These animals are surviving on the fruits of the forest and of Andy's labour. But as Dom peels off after a satisfactory evening, we're looking for a bigger body count. Team Crow is taking us out rabbiting. Andy Senior and Junior were out last night and got about 30, but they didn't touch the grasslands where there could be more bunnies. We start on a bit of stubble, and he starts as he means to go on. Andy really doesn't miss with his trusty 17 HMR.
The ones I use have got the ballistic tip to them, and they do so much damage. The head's not needed, and once a bullet hits them, they just don't go anywhere. It's such a good round, and if they move, or as long as that bullet hits them, they're not going anywhere. The only thing is, it does suffer in the wind, a little bit of wind, and it blows a bullet off. You wouldn't believe how much.
And it blows up and everything.
Yeah, and it's only got to touch a bit of grass, a blade of grass, and it disintegrates. But the thing is, you don't get the ricochets that you do get with the 2.2, and it just worries me when you're shooting with a 2.2. You hear it buzz off in the summer on the hard ground,
Twitching.
and you hear it buzz off when it hits the hard ground. You think, well, where the hell did that go? It's only tumbling, but it's going somewhere. But these 1.7s, they just, as soon as I hit it, the bullet just blows up. So
He makes it look easy, if only it were. Whatever the range, the rabbits keep falling. In many shooting situations, good teamwork is important. The crows have a great working relationship. Like other shooting families, the sport brings father, son, nephew, niece or whatever together in an age when there are so many distractions for young people.
he's off it a bit at the moment. He's a bit loved up at the moment, but that's how boys are when they're 18. And I'll prize him off for his mobile phone. He's come out tonight, so he's been good tonight. So, but yeah, I love taking him out, and I just hope one day he'll be as good as me. He ain't got a lot to do, but one day he'll be as good as me, hopefully. He's chuckling in the background.
Tonight, Andy is using an amber filter, mainly for our benefit for filming, but it also seems to be working for the shooting.
Yeah, I usually use a red, but like you say, tonight we come out and we was having a job to see the rabbits in the stubble, so we decided we'd use an orange. We always have orange and a red with us, so we decided to use the orange, and it worked quite well. So, and they seem to be sitting pretty well for it, and like you say, it makes it easier for you filming, and it's nice to use it. For me, it makes it a lot easier for me as well. But as a rule, I use a red lamp. I prefer the red. But they seem to be sitting okay with the orange tonight, so that's the reason I've gone for it. So.
Now for a shocking revelation. Andy is a bunny hugger. Look at him go. It might be more of a bear hug, but that rabbit really feels needed. Another heads for cover, but this sniper is ready for the stakeout. Eventually it raises its head just a bit too much, and patience pays off. After 2 hours, we have 52 rabbits. That's 1 rabbit every 2 minutes. Now that is sharp shooting by Team Crow.
Made me lose count now. Come on.
Another fine example of high calibre, small calibre shooting from Andy. Now it's over to David on the stump of news.
This is Fieldsports Britain News. There's been a bit of a kerfuffle this week over reports that claimed that the organisers of the London 2012 Olympics had removed tickets for the shooting events from the free giveaway to London's school children, fearing a backlash from the anti-gun lobby. Well, we rang Boris and he told us he does not support a ban on tickets for shooting or any other Olympic or Paralympic sports, and has no doubt that the London 2012 Games will raise the profiles of these demanding and tense sports in the UK and beyond. We can announce that Norma is launching a new bullet before the end of the year. The Kalahari's been developed using aerodynamic designs adapted from high-speed jets. The ammunition is said to be faster, harder hitting and more accurate, whilst adhering to tougher environmental controls.
The lead-free, quick expanding bullet designed for both trophy hunters, but will also meet the expectations of meat hunters that want very quick opening bullets with very high shock power.
A pilot web service has been developed so sensible rambling folk can find out where stalking is taking place this season. The heading for Scottish Hills site was set up by Scottish Natural Heritage. It's hoped the information will help to minimise the chance of disturbing stalking within the pilot areas. And finally, it's open season at Bisley Live. The organisers have announced that the event at the end of September will allow all visitors to shoot centre-fire rifles, even without a firearms certificate. However, visitors will have to produce photographic ID, sign a Section 21 declaration and pay a one-off fee of £12.50. They'll then have a chance of shooting black powder pistols, gallery rifles and rimfire rifles for the day. You're now up to date with Fieldsports Britain News. Stalking the stories, fishing for fact.
Thank you, David. Nice haircut. Now, many of you will have had the chance to shoot or stalk or fish in Scotland. Indeed, some of you watching this will actually live there, and our Scots viewers will testify that there's no better place in the world for field sports. But it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. We're visiting a lavish, luxurious launch pad for your Scottish adventure. They say Queen Victoria was so taken by her visit to Taymouth Castle that she bought Balmoral. Sitting, as the name suggests, at the mouth of the River Tay and a sweeping drive away from Kenmore on the shores of Loch Tay, this impressive expression of wealth is soon to be open for business, as a hotel offering 12 suites inside the castle and the focal point for an estate over which 17 new homes will be built. It's taken an army of workers years to get the castle to the point the owners feel they can give potential guests and investors from all over the world a true sense of what this solid piece of Scottish history can bring. Alex McEwen is hosting the day. He's got the easy job, selling the idea that this place is going to be one of the best places to stay, not in Scotland or the UK, but in the world.
The vision is to not only take the estate that is today, but to try and make the estate work as a future resort for Scotland. The importance of the castle itself is undisputed. It's a fantastic building. It has an amazing architectural heritage. It's in the most fantastic setting at the end of Loch Tay, at the mouth of the River Tay, and in terms of its potential for a location in Scotland, it has just about everything you need. You've got fishing, golf, shooting, and in addition we're creating a fantastic property portfolio. The private residences that we're building are initially going to be around the golf course and in the Highland areas, but in the future we shall be building some properties that actually are on the edge of the River Tay.
And the best bit is that if you've forgotten to pick up the bread and milk because you're in such a hurry to get back to your Scottish retreat, all the castle's facilities are open to the homeowners too, including room service. To give guests a sense of what it will be like to come here for the shooting, the estate's shooting consultant, Don Brunt, has brought with him some of the best shots and instructors in the country. Becky Bream and Graham Lapthorne and Great Britain team shooting coach Kevin Gill, riding high after an awesome year. So with less than 12 months to go now until the Olympics, how is the team feeling?
It's getting more and more high-pitched every day. I think today we're 340 days away from the Olympic Games, and I think the athletes, the coaches, the support staff all realise now that it's getting close and the atmosphere is getting a lot higher.
The team is also buoyed by the news that tickets for the Olympic shooting events are sold out, and a few days ago Kevin had a chance to tour the Olympic Village.
Oh, it's really good. The accommodation's first class. It's possible to walk from the accommodation to where the opening ceremony will be. They've built a park that is actually as big as Regent's Park, from scratch, right in the middle of it all. Fantastic. Yeah, they've done a really good job.
And the Olympic Village is not the only thing looking the part today.
No, I must admit it's a beautiful spot, and I can imagine that it will be a very sought after place to be. Yeah, it's lovely.
After the guests have enjoyed a lunch and a performance by West End stars Gina Beck and Dominic Gerrard, they get a chance to have a look around the grounds, polish up their swing with golf professional Stephen Gallagher, and swing through with the shooting pros. Not a bad backdrop for any sport. An extraordinary amount of skilled work has gone into rediscovering Taymouth Castle. It's brought jobs to the local area, and some of Scotland's most talented craftsmen and women have helped create a Taymouth for the 21st century.
With renovation, it's kind of thankless, because you walk in and you see the room like it was 200 years ago, then you don't realise where did the 200,000 quid go in this room. So essentially, it'd be taking off all the panels, and the way they were constructed in the olden days, they had locking pieces, so you have to find the locking piece to remove the 100 other pieces, and they have to all go back on in the same order.
Breathing life into this building has been a marathon and not a sprint. What is he looking forward to most when it's completed?
The library. It's so special. Pigeon. So it speaks for itself. It's incredible. All the gold leaf. It's someplace where I'm looking forward now to sitting relaxing with a coffee on a Sunday afternoon and reading the paper.
If you want to have a coffee in the library, a single malt in the bar, or have a spa experience to wind down after a busy day on the Grousemoor, Taymouth Castle Estate will be open for guests soon. And if you fancy buying a new state-of-the-art home on the Tay, or just want to find out more about the estate, please visit www.taymouthcastle.com. Let's hope we get invited back to make sure the tiles are soft enough. Now, all the people having a pop at clays in that film were using ear protection. There is a huge range of ear protection available, some of it little more than a piece of foam. We've been behind the scenes at Puretone, which makes the CENS digital range, to find out how they manage to stuff all that technology into one ear and keep all those bangs out. And if you listen carefully to our film and answer our competition question at the end, you could be in with a chance of winning some 5-star hearing protection. Mark Gilchrist is where he feels most at home, in a hide on the edge of a stubble field with a box of shells and his trusty Browning Maxus waiting for the pigeons to come flocking in. He shoots thousands of woodies and rabbits every year for his own cooking and to pass on to dealers who sell them on to restaurants. His kit gets a hammering, and so would his ears if he didn't look after them.
Well, I know that my father's hearing's very bad until you offered to get a round of drinks, and he can hear that 200 or 300 yards away. Everything else he can't hear, and I'm very concerned because obviously it's irreparable. Once you damage your hearing, it doesn't come back.
Today he has been invited to the Puretone offices in Rochester to have a look around and be fitted for a new pair of CENS ProFlex digital ear defenders, which are made here. First of all, the impressions need to be taken.
It feels a bit cold, feels a bit odd.
I can't hear. Obviously can't hear very much, so I suppose you gum the ear up.
After a couple of minutes, the moulds can be removed and Mark's custom-made ProFlex can begin to take shape.
It's two. Okay. There you are.
Wow.
So, how did it feel?
It wasn't painful at all. Unfortunately, the big hard man of shooting doesn't like being touched or having anything put in his ear. It wasn't uncomfortable at all. It genuinely wasn't. Just I'm pretty pathetic.
Someone needs to man up, especially as Olympic hopeful Abbey Burton is all smiles. She's getting her impressions done at work, but her shooting school in the West Country. The audiologist can visit you anywhere in the country, at home or at work, to get the ball rolling and the canals filled. Ear protection is vital for someone like Abbey. It was her gamekeeping grandfather who introduced her to shooting and ear protection.
From a very young age, it's been drummed into me by my grandfather about hearing, because I don't think he wore any when he was younger and he took up shooting. So yeah, he definitely looked after me in that way.
Abbey has had moulds done before, but this is the first time she'll have CENS digital technology inside them.
I've had a couple of ear moulds made, and I definitely think they are a good idea, a good thing. They're very comfortable to wear, and obviously for the first time I get to try some of the electronic ones, which allows me to hear people talking as well as protecting my ears when it's shooting in progress.
How many coaches do you get through a year roughly?
Oh gosh, probably at least 20,000 maybe, at least. So just a bit.
The CENS range is all handcrafted and manufactured alongside the hearing aids that Puretone first started making back in 1976. It's because the chief technical designer is a shooter himself that he has pushed the design and technology for gun users. Prevention is a much better idea than conditions such as tinnitus and hearing loss. So what are the most important features for Martin to have brought to this design?
Comfort is the number one reason why you would wear a pair of CENS. They're dual silicon softness. They're made of a silicon material with electronic insert. The electronic insert will provide you with natural ambient sounds, even to the point of where the gun is fired. You still hear the gun. So we're not talking of sounds that instantly go down and cut off and then come back up. You can pull the trigger, you'll hear the gun go off, all the levels come down to a safe level, and as soon as that trigger's been pulled, you'll hear the next bird come in over the treetops.
Mark also likes the idea of being able to pick up ambient sound. He's looking forward to testing out the CENS on a very special quarry.
I'm optimistic I'm going to be able to hear things better than I would with the over-the-ear defender, so I'm going to be able to pick up wing beats. And I think what's going to be, just from what Martin was saying, what I'm really looking forward to trying is shooting teal under the moon, where you're hearing. That's the one time I don't use ear protection, which is obviously very bad, because you need to hear that of the wing, of them stopping, and then you've got about 1 second to pick them up, get a line, pull the trigger.
Mark's CENS ProFlex are delivered to him in just a few days, and even before he loads the gun, he's realised the benefits of the design. Listening to the radio in the car and being able to brag about the bag with friends on the phone. Andy Crow is the one getting an earful from Mark today.
Crowman, that's not the case. I invite you pigeon shooting all the time.
Yeah, but I'm busy, Gilchrist. I've got 6 light bulbs standing in the shed for you.
So on their first outing, what does Mark think?
I've had them on since about 9 o'clock this morning. I've had them on in the car. You just can't, you just can't tell that you've got any hearing protection on at all. It's also quite good because it means I can get a nice suntan on my ears, because I was a bit worried before I was getting circles, which was a bit of a shame. The only really distressing thing about them is I've found out that I actually talk to myself, and previously with the overhead earmuffs I couldn't hear it, but now I can hear it quite clearly.
You'd like to do that.
Abbey has also had her CENS delivered. She has the Digital 2 style, which has 2 pre-programmed settings, one for game, which boosts quieter sounds such as approaching birds and quarry, and the other for clays, giving extra suppression, reducing the additional gun noise happening around you.
Well, I can hear everything, except for the bang.
You can't hear the bang?
Well, I can't hear the bang, no, it's really different.
So how does it compare to ordinary phone plugs?
I think these are much better. I think they are a lot more sociable, because obviously I can hear a lot more birds, people and the environment, and it also cancels out the noise, which is the job that you want it to do.
The CENS range comes in loads of colours and styles, so you can colour coordinate or camo right up to the ears. And we're giving you a chance to get your hands on your own set of these special defenders. All you have to do is tell us what bird Mark said he was looking forward to hearing fly past him under the moonlight. Is it A, teal, B, widgeon, or C, partridge? Please send your answers with your name and telephone number to charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv by the 7th of September 2011, and one of the correct answers will be drawn from a hat. But if you're feeling confident, why not have a browse on the CENS digital website, www.censdigital.com. Well, good luck to everyone with that. And if you don't win, perhaps you could console yourself with some DVDs available from our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. We have A Year of Deer, we have Foxing with Robert Bucknell, and we have Pigeons, the Expert's Way. Now, we all have to start shooting somewhere, but unless you've got someone to help you through the first fumblings, it can be a real stab in the dark. Thankfully, there are people like David Florent at the Oxford Gun Company who guarantee satisfaction, even if you've never held a gun before. He's on a mission to get more people into shooting.
We've got 4 shooters who vary from novice to never tried it. They could be going 10-pin bowling, they could be playing around a golf, but today they're trying clays. I want to know what they think of shooting and, more importantly, whether they will take it up. A day like today begins with a pep talk.
The easiest way of taking the gun up the slip and safest way is literally you open the slip to about there, gun comes up the slip to its action, which is this black piece on this gun. This is what you call the top lever. That pushes across and it opens. Everyone can see it's safe. It's a perfect way of opening the gun.
I show them 3 types of targets: incoming, going away, and a tricky bouncing bunny. The first thing I explain on the stand is how to bring the gun to the cheek. Nothing in the gun, all you're doing is looking through my fingers, right? Ready? Bang, right? And again. Bang. Now, well done. Now, well done. I reckon Paul's experience of playing squash will stand him in good stead for today.
I always wondered why Browning made guns, because I've always owned Browning squash rackets, and I can see the link between the two now. And what Dave's saying about linking it with tennis and things, it's dead right. There's definitely a link there. You can see.
What did you think about guns before you came here?
I had no preconceptions really. I wasn't really known. I mean, like I said, my entire family have shot. I've got my granddad who's nearly into his 90s. He goes out shooting every other weekend in season. It's something my family have always done. Personally, I've never had the urge to fire a gun, so I was given this opportunity today and I thought, well, let's give it a go.
Everyone found the incomer easy, the going away harder. Over the top of it. Over the top. Still over the top of it. Have a breather. By the time we get to the rabbit, the girls are neck and neck with the boys.
It's slightly embarrassing, girls beating boys.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
Yeah.
The rabbits didn't really do us much favour, you know.
I mean, the thing is, you've shot before, haven't you?
Yeah, quite a bit.
And that's the trouble, is you've shot rabbits before, and then you come and shoot them again.
Yeah, like I was shooting them yesterday, and I did exactly the same. I just can't shoot the rabbits. So.
And what did you think about the rabbits?
I thought they were easier than just the normal clays going out and coming back in. I thought they were okay. Yeah.
did she? Were her rabbits not bouncing? What was going on?
I don't know. I just think I can't hit rabbits.
So, has the day been a success? Do we have 4 new shooters?
Didn't have anything in mind of what it was going to be like. I thought it was going to hurt more.
Yeah. So you'd heard about the kick and the recoil.
Yeah. It didn't. It's hurt a couple of times when I've taken my face off the wood.
We've heard about that today.
But yeah, no.
It's sort of quite a high reward thing because it goes bang right in front of you.
It's when you actually do hit it, it's like, oh, I achieved it. Big achievement.
Does that kind of thing make you want to do more of it?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely want to come up again.
They've been a great team to teach and not a master eye problem among them. And it's not just shooting we show them. Just like a clay, what goes up must come down. And here's proof we have brought a new shooter to our sport. Paul is applying for a shotgun certificate.
You see, he has a magic touch. Now, we're back next week, and after last week I'm not going to make any promises about what you're going to see. This has been Fieldsports Britain. If you are watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, which is somewhere around the edge, or go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, scroll down, put your email address in the constant contact form underneath the screen, or click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, and every week we'll send you details of our glorious programme, Fieldsports Britain.